Let's talk skin. Let's talk truth. This is Barefaced Chat, and I'm Kelly Saynor. I've spent over 2 decades in aesthetics, seen behind the filters, under the makeup, and beneath the skin. On this podcast, we strip back the noise and get real about beauty, identity, and everything in between. In this episode, Grace and I talk about her being a beauty editor and aesthetician and sharing real skincare advice. She talks press, products, and about her weekly shop series. We also lift the lid on trends, transparency, and what really works. Because skin isn't just skin, it's your story, and I'm here for it. I'm Kelly Saynor. Are you ready for some barefaced chat? Disclaimer, the views shared in this episode are personal opinion and are not intended as medical advice. Always consult with a qualified professional before making decisions about your skin or health. Well, listen, guys, I think that you'll definitely recognise my next guest, certainly if you're into skincare. She is just, I can't tell you how pleased I am to have you here. It's been a long time coming. I swear, I used to fangirl, like, oh my God, she's a pro beauty. I need to go meet her. I swear to you, like all those years ago. Yeah. And I am a lot older than you are. But really, like, it's not about that. It's about the respect I had for you and how real you felt above in a sea of perhaps not as real. Yeah. All the time. Genuine, maybe. Authentic. You stood out for me. Yeah. And I saw you and one day, this is weird. This is like mood bullshit. One day I was like, I'm going to meet her. Oh. And we are going to we're going to have a chat about skin stuff. Yeah. And like, it's a very surreal moment for me.
Yeah. Well, here we are.
I know. Oh my God. Honestly, I know it sounds a bit like over the top or far-fetched, but genuinely when you have somebody like that and you want to meet them, it's so nice for that to come through. So thank you. Yeah, let me just introduce you all to Grace. She is a Manchester-based beauty editor in her past, still does it, aesthetician, and one of the internet's most trusted voices. I certainly trust it, and if I need an additional level of helping hand or just check in, I'll just check in with. I'll look at one of your posts and you'll talk about X, Y, or Z, and I'll be like, yeah, no, I'm on the right page. Even though I've been doing it for 21 years, you still have that moment, that little just resettle. So with over 10 years experience, babes, with you of, working for, spanning, I suppose, retail, e-commerce, editorial stuff. You've worked for Marie Claire, or featured at Birdie Stylist, InStyle. But for me, it's your weekly shop ID that's just love that. People are just drawn to it.
Yeah.
When did you know that would work?
Because I was constantly getting questions in my DMs, all the time, like, can you recommend me a moisturiser for oily skin or dry skin or whatever? And the amount of time it takes, because I like to give a thorough answer, to do that and to send a link or a picture. And I just thought, why don't I make that a weekly thing where people can just reach out through the questions feature on Instagram, which is where I started doing it. And then I just do it as like a weekly thing, and anything I get during the week, I'll bank it, save it for that, so that I'm not constantly in my DMs, but I set aside a few hours and just do it as a thing.
That's a great idea. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, if anybody out here listening doesn't know what that is, it's like part personal shopper.
Basically,
isn't it? Part skin, like skincare kind of agony aunt for me. And that's made you a real favourite with your fans and people that follow you, because it's really like a trusted part of what you do. But your ability for me, what I find the most interesting about you is your ability to blend skincare knowledge with the treatments that you do, with the knowledge of editorial stuff. That real holistic, authentic voice is just such a powerful movement, opportunity, ability that you've been given. And I think not enough people are doing it authentically, like you said. But we're going to talk about everything from treatment transparency to skin barrier obsession, and why aesthetics still is has this stigma around it. And I don't even know what we're calling ourselves now.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things when I trained as a esthetician, facialist, whatever you want to call it. I was like, well, what do I call myself? Because to me, esthetician feels more aesthetics, I guess. Like I don't do injectables. Facialist sounds a bit spa vibes. So I've landed with aesthetician, but I don't really feel like it really is the right way to describe.
Completely agree.
What I do, but
we're all in that boat.
Yeah.
We're all going, well, what?
Which just adds to the imposter syndrome.
Absolutely right. And even still now, the people, what do you do? I'm like, gink.
Yeah. I'm like, facials.
And you're like, no, I've undersold myself. But I also want to talk, because we had a real affinity when we first met, about trends that are beginning, that moving forwards, what we don't subscribe to, the amount of trends that come through that are absolute BS. Mm-hmm. We see it, we watch for weight, we go, okay, in, out. There's that many, skin slugging, bloody, oh God, there's just so many that we need to talk about. And the ones that are worth waiting for. Yeah. And the ones that work. And it goes back to like traditional times.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, she is somebody that I hugely admire. So please, everybody, welcome to Grace Day.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. I hope that represents you and what you've done.
Yeah, I mean, it is weird hearing that kind of, read out about yourself, because again, imposter syndrome. Yeah. It's like, oh, actually, I did do that. Yeah. It's quite reassuring.
It is reassuring, because that's who we, through my lens, through the rest of the world's lens, that's who you are.
Yeah.
And, people say to me, God, Kel, you this, and I'm like, no, because that's not who I am on the inside.
Yeah, exactly.
So I get that.
Like I'm still 14,
Same.
I should be here.
Absolutely. I mean, before we get into this then, like, because you've worked in so many different areas, so many different spaces of like beauty, and I don't think everyone gets the opportunity to do that. I know when we talked, you've got a very personal experience behind all of this, which I always find the most authentic and the best way to do it. And some people getting into industry of any types, across any industry, will either talk about the fact that their parents did it, or, it's my mum's been a nurse, or my dad's a farmer and I've got into it that way, or owns a restaurant.
Yeah.
And I think in this space, you don't often hear that.
No.
It's about what has happened to you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That gives you the reals and patience that trust you. So given that you've had a very personal experience, just talk to me again, so everybody listening can understand how you got into it and why you're here today.
So I grew up with acne, not just your normal teenage acne, but like full on acne that was very debilitating, and it really affected my confidence as a teenager. I also, wore glasses, was a really short, skinny kid. It just did not help with the overall aesthetic. I grew up with acne. My mum, both my parents have had great skin their whole lives. My mum doesn't really do skincare or makeup, so it was all very much a whole new world to me. I remember when she'd go and do like the shopping at Sainsbury's, I'd say, oh, I'm going to go and look at the products. And I'd just go off and stand in the beauty aisle and look at shower gels and stuff. And I was fascinated by, face creams and all that stuff, because we didn't have much of it at home. We just had, the essentials. Acne developed when I was a teenager. And then, back then when I was like 14, 15, the shelves of Boots were not what they are now. And it was like Clearasil or Clean and Clear, So I didn't have much choice, but also we didn't have the internet. We didn't have YouTube. So I didn't really have anywhere to learn that information from. Yeah. So I was very much on my own on this journey, just trying stuff out.
Did you ask peers?
Not really. Of my friendship group, I was the only one that really struggled with their skin. Like I don't really remember anyone else looking like I did.
Okay.
And I didn't have a great high school experience, to be honest with you.
No, I hate school.
Yeah, no. When people say they'd go back and do it again, I'm like, you could not pay me.
Pay me, yeah,
literally.
100%.
But yeah, I think it was when I went to uni that I started to feel overly conscious of it, because until that point, I'd kind of believed what my parents said, like you're a teenager, you'll grow out of it. It's just, everyone goes through it. I got to 18, thought I was an adult, went to uni and was like, well, I've still got the face of a teenager. And that's when I started my blog. Yeah. So I was documenting my journey basically and sharing reviews of the products that helped me. And I guess I had a bit more expendable income by that point. So I was able to like take myself off to Boots, and, things were maybe widening up a little bit. Yes, and we had a few more brands and I'd try stuff out and feature it on my blog. And this was back when blogs were the primary
mode of communication.
And people weren't influencers or TikTokers or Instagrammers or anything like that. And I was reading blogs by like Caroline Hirons and, you know, that kind of the old school bloggers.
Yeah.
So I guess I got in at a good time because my blog then picked up, and that's kind of where I grew a lot of my following, who would probably still follow me on Instagram now.
That's amazing.
Back then. And then through that, I got into, through like beauty blogging, I got into beauty writing.
Okay.
And that's how I kind of landed as a beauty editor.
That's insane. Did they contact you?
Yeah, so I was, so Beauty Bay, who I used to work for, it's like a big online retailer. They reached out and asked me to freelance, write for them some editorial content. And that was just kind of how I got my foot in the door, I guess. So I was really lucky.
Did you love it?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. Was it amazing? Was it like every girl's dream?
It was literally, yeah, especially, you know, at that age, I was like 22 and I did a master's. So I'd done my 3 years at uni, then I did a master's over 2 years. So I'd spent 5 years in uni, essentially, working part-time at Boots. So that was kind of my first beauty job.
Experience, yeah.
But yeah, like to be offered a job right before I graduated, you know, obviously everyone wants that, but it was also like my dream job at the time. So
that's nice. What an amazing journey.
Yeah.
What did you study at university?
I studied history.
Did you?
Yeah, which people are always surprised by.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But I mean, I love history. I still do.
Why can't you be both?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I read history books all the time, but I wanted to do a PhD, which is why I went to do my master's.
Yeah.
And then kind of realised that, you know, there's like funding and, you know, all this kind of stuff that actually goes into doing a PhD, and, you know, you don't get a lot of money when you're studying. And so, the subjects I was interested in as well, which was more like women's history, aren't particularly well funded. So I knew there wasn't really much opportunity there. Yeah, I always say to people, like, if I hadn't had acne, I don't know where I would have landed at all. Yeah, because I think that ultimately shaped all those steps.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, who knows where I would be without acne.
That's fascinating though, because I think that will allow people that are listening a degree of mental space and freedom, and this isn't going to last forever. Or, you know, at the time, I just don't think people that don't have or have never had an experience with acne get it.
No.
Like, without being disrespectful, it's debilitating.
Yeah.
To the point of, like, you know, mentally.
Yeah. And you don't realise
draining.
it even when you've got it. It's like afterwards that you're like, oh, I am different. I am changed by that experience. And I meet clients now who are the same, and we say the exact same thing you just said. And they have so much more resilience for all things in life, but especially when it comes to skincare. They can take a microneedling treatment because they've experienced pain, you know?
One of the things I say to practitioners that I train, you may have heard it on when we did the training, acne patients are an entire different breed. Yes. They have thrown everything but the kitchen sink at their skin.
They have burned their face off with lemon juice.
Super knowledgeable.
Yeah.
They come with all of that.
Yeah.
So it's not just like a fix a line.
Yeah.
Again, not being disrespectful, but it's a different energy. Yeah. And it's a real, like, journey.
Oh yeah.
And it's, you know, I remember doing the short film that we did, Ollie, my eldest, really suffered. Yeah. And, you know, he talks about his perspective as being a young, mixed race, male, teenage boy with a face full of acne.
Yeah.
It's like, where do I fit?
Yeah.
There isn't another me.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel like.
Yeah.
It's certainly not out there.
Yeah.
Like you said, nobody looks like me. What?
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I what a lovely experience though for your patients.
Yeah. I think it definitely gives me like an ability to relate to them and empathize with them. And, you know, I love working with acne clients because I know how they feel. And when they find out that I've been through that journey, you know, that's why a lot of them come to me, because they want someone who gets it. But
do you put it out there?
It's not like the main thing. Like, you know, I do mention it in my kind of my story on my website, like I just kind of explained to you, but it's not, I'm not one of those people that just works exclusively with acne people. I just kind of do.
It's really endearing though. And I think that maybe a bit more vocalizing the journey makes me feel like I instantly want to see you.
Yeah.
Because you will know every trick in the book. Even if you go to somebody that's like 20 years in the game, you actually lived it.
Yeah.
So you've tried things that haven't worked.
Oh yeah.
We said last time, you've make your peace. When you get a spot, you know why. I know exactly why. You know? And that's what I teach my patients, and the recovery.
Yeah.
And it's, if it comes and goes, you've already hit a step.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
And like, you know, even now I get a spot and sometimes it's like that voice in my head is like, don't moisturize, it will clog your pores. Even though I know that's not true. And I tell people that all the time.
That's so human.
But it's, it's so hard to get out of that once you've had it and you suddenly like, oh my God, is this it? Am I going to have acne again? Every time I get a spot, that goes through my head.
Absolutely.
But yeah, we're learning.
What a vulnerable place to be though, hey? So, of course, you have worked in every area of, and I think, every area of aesthetics, beauty that you can do. You've worked in a shop, you've worked behind the magazines, you're now treating patients. There isn't more breadth that you couldn't do more if you tried, which makes it just even more endearing that you're actually doing the treatment. I do feel like a lot of people, though, believe that we know everything.
Yeah.
And I think that being realistic in our industry is the biggest part of what we've got to do.
Absolutely.
And patience, and it's like management is huge. What perspective then would you say being, in terms of, I suppose, the imposter syndrome, what's your perspective on this level of demand we see now with patients that have got acne and the availability of like a shop floor of boots, Instagrammers, TikTokers giving you a million different contradictions? That's confusing.
Where do you start? Yeah.
Where do we start?
Yeah.
How do you manage that when a patient comes in? How do you manage them?
Yeah, I guess a lot of people come to me because they've been overwhelmed by that.
Yeah.
So they've listened to the influencers, they've bought what's on offer in Boots, they've bought what the magazines say, they've tried it all, it hasn't worked, and they almost want to go back to basics. They just want one person to tell them what to do. They're over the choice. It's too overwhelming for them.
I agree with that.
And yeah, I completely, even now I go into Boots to look for toothpaste and there's like 2 aisles. I'm like, why do I need this many options for toothpaste, So I completely get why people feel that way. And that's kind of what I offer as a solution. But the way I do my consultations is I look at what is on offer in Boots. I don't work with a specific brand. I'm not like affiliated with anyone. So I'll pick based on people's budget, based on which shop they prefer to shop at, and just kind of give people a bit of guidance and hold their hand through the process of shopping. Yeah.
That's a really nice way to look at it because it gives them, it re-empowers them, doesn't it?
Yeah. And I give them the education so that, in the future when I'm not there, they can still go into Boots and know, oh, that's the ingredient that my skin doesn't like, or,
Absolutely.
Kind of
How do you determine that then? Of course, we know everything to do with the cell, the way a spot forms, the keratinocyte life cycle, the influence of lack of sleep, lack of fluid intake, dehydration, poor diet, hormones. We know all of the things and we blame our skincare for so much.
Yes.
Even like now you've admitted it's like, I'm going to get a full face. I know it. Even though like we talked about last time when you have a massage, because I had a massage recently, I got a spot on my chin. I was like, oh, it's why.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the little things. Every time I have a McDonald's, I get a spot.
Yeah.
It just happens.
Exactly the same. Exactly the same.
Yeah.
Now, to provide patients that really are suffering with one piece of advice, what would you say? Where do they start? What would you say? One product, because when they do that, I'm like, no, don't ask me that question.
Yeah.
It's not. It doesn't work like that.
That's it. I think I get asked this in the weekly shop actually a lot. Is like one product to fix my acne.
Yeah.
But I just always say to people, it's not it's not one product. It's a full holistic approach. So it's not just even your routine. It's all the lifestyle stuff like you just mentioned. You have to take that into account. But routine wise, I would always say to people, focus on hydration, strip it back, keep it minimal. Get your skin nice and healthy. We're on the same page. And then we introduce the active ingredients, and sometimes it's hard because people just want results. They want results so fast they want to be using acids and retinols and, the buzzwords.
Yeah.
So yeah, it can take a lot to kind of bring people back down to like the basics.
When do you know that they trust you?
I think when I have my 6-week catch up with them after they've started their new routine and they're using the products, the full products. They've not skipped ones that they're not sure about, or they've not introduced their own ones, or, they're like, oh, I'm only using it once a week. If they're doing it all, then I know.
That is so true. It's like you can relax.
Yeah.
You feel like you've done your job.
Okay, they're in for the long run.
Yeah.
they trust me, they trust the process.
That's so true.
And I can just let them get on with it.
That is so true. I love when I'm like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Can you tell everybody else?
Yeah.
Literally think they've got it. Yeah. And it's so nice. So obviously, you know, you learn based on your own experience. At what point did you think, I'm going to make this my job?
Gosh. In terms of being an esthetician and doing facials, I think it was when I actually started doing them I went to night school, so I was still working my 9 to 5. I went to night school, primarily went to get my qualification because I was giving people so much advice online. I wanted to have just like peace of mind, credential, you know, I can say I've done the training.
Yeah.
So I didn't do it intending to go and become a facialist, do facials, do treatments, anything like that. When I actually got my hands on faces, that's when it changed. And I was like, oh, I like this. This is fun. I loved, you know, talking to people, giving them advice, seeing them again, seeing their, you know, results, that kind of thing. And that's when I was like, oh, maybe I should rethink.
Love this. This is so fascinating to me. There's a real stigma with the Instagrammers and believing what Instagrammers say, because you're given so many different brands. And like you say, I love the fact that you're not really affiliated with one. I'm not, apart from my own brand, but I'm working in the industry.
Yeah.
So I have lots of different brands, and I will recommend over and above my own even if I know it's right for the patient.
Yeah.
How do you balance your job as an editor, be writing about products that you might believe in them, I'm sure you do. I'm sure you can't say anything too controversial here, but how do you balance that, like these social media trends with your authenticity? Because there's got to be an element of spin here.
I don't know. I think I've been really lucky in that the publications I've written for, and when I do my own content, they're all about integrity.
Right.
So I was actually talking about this to Molly upstairs. Like it's, you know, I could so easily be writing for a magazine who say you need to include these because there are advertisers. Right. I've just been really fortunate that I haven't been in that position. I mean, for example, when I worked at Beauty Bay, I was limited to the brands that were stocked on there. Yeah. But as the kind of person who was leading editorial content, integrity was, to me, part of what we needed to, you know, put across. So I think I've actually managed to kind of toe that line quite well. And I'll always give something a try. You know, I'll always try products out. And if it's genuinely not something that works, then I'm not going to feature it.
That's amazing.
That's my rule.
I love that. And I think anybody wanting to get into writing, or, you know, I think it must be really difficult to filter the noise out. Yeah. And like we talked about, like I said before, about different social media trends. Oh, yeah. How do you, like, is there some that you believe in? Are there some that you don't believe in?
I think the ones I believe in are often just things that we know are the basics that have been repackaged and made to look like it's a new trend. Like the skin barrier, for example, you know, we've been preaching about that since the beginning. Yeah. Double cleansing, you know, these aren't trends. These are just like normal things that any esthetician has been doing for like 50 years. Yes. And they just get like a new name and it goes viral and everyone thinks it's like a new thing, but it's not. True. Yeah. So I think there's that element of it. But yeah, the trend cycle is insane.
It's insane.
Absolutely insane. And I think in skincare, it can be a bit scary. Yeah. The makeup side of it, I just think is just daft. I think it's just coming up with new names for the same thing.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Yeah. On that topic of like trending skincare-y stuff then, or skin, you know, like repackaging, because that's a really good way to put it. I really think that's an interesting, honest view of, and people need to be a bit vigilant about it. Speaking to younger patients, they absolutely are on point in terms of the trends. Yeah. They are doing skin slugging, they're doing like, you know, whatever the next trend is and believing it. And I'm like, well, we've been doing it for years. It's just not called that.
Yeah, exactly.
You say. So I have to re-educate when I'm treating. But when you're talking to your patients about a holistic journey in skin and they are doing these things, how do you get them away from that and into your traditional treatments? So like you believe in, I don't know if you steam, I don't know if you magneto, like you've said. I don't know what your core treatments are to steer people away almost.
Yeah, I suppose my the core facial is probably very traditional, but I suppose I just give it like a very modern approach. So I do a double cleanse, I do enzyme exfoliation with steam on every client to just take a look at their skin. Then I'll go and do extractions, you know, if they want dermaplaning, if they're having microneedling. LED I probably do on most people because it works so well for everyone.
Yeah.
I think, again, most people come to me not because I'm saying like, oh, I'm doing like a glass skin facial.
Yes.
Or, you know, it's not like I'm offering a result for that one facial or, you know, you come in here and you'll leave looking like this.
Yeah.
For me, it's about long-term and them coming back and us seeing progress over time, but also giving them what they need and want. And I think as much as trends drive people, everyone wants a personal, bespoke,
they do,
custom approach.
I agree.
Like that's the ultimate luxury, isn't it? To have something that's tailored to you. So I think actually when people get a bit disillusioned by trends, that's kind of the default back to.
What's your view on the Korean beauty trends?
Yeah. I think
skin stacking's massive at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, again,
but that's just combination treatment to me. Like, I don't
exactly. I think, again, you know, these things, a lot of them have been happening in Korea for years, haven't they? Like even like exosomes and stuff. They've been there for years, decades maybe. And so again, it just gets like repackaged and brought over to a Western audience.
Yeah,
and
so true.
I think as an editor and as someone who's worked in marketing and, you know, that side of things, I can see that. Yeah. But I can also see how easily people are taken in by that. And because the product is great, like Korean skincare is brilliant. Yeah. It's all about hydration because they do so many aesthetic treatments over there that their actual skincare products aren't particularly active because they don't rely on the actives to give them results. They're getting like surgery and then they just need to hydrate their skin. So the product's all about hydration. So you can't go wrong with hydration.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Love the product.
The biggest thing that I would say as well. Yeah. It's so nice to hear. Have you been?
No, I'd love to go.
Same.
I'd absolutely love it.
Maybe we should make that a trip.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That'd be great.
So cool, wouldn't it?
Imagine us doing a little like tour of all the places. Never sleeping. Yeah, never sleeping.
Not sleeping on the flight. Not sleeping when we got there.
I mean, I can imagine it's the kind of city where everything's open
anyway
all the time, so it'd be fine.
We'd be like, come back, like dead. That might be really cool.
Yeah.
Completely left field.
Yeah. No, I'd actually love to do that.
I would.
Yeah. Because it's not somewhere I'd necessarily go on holiday, but I'd like to go like for the kind of the research.
Yeah. I'm not thinking about taking the boys, you know?
Yeah.
Like during the summer, but I would do that with you.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Okay, we need to make this happen. Like most of them again. So let's talk about the weekly shop then, because I find that so interesting. And I'm almost like, I'm not an envious person, but I'm like, oh my God, that's so interesting. And I'm like, I wish I could do that because it's so, you're so chilled with it, but you're so informative and it doesn't take a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's brilliant.
Yeah.
So what, apart from the fact that you were DM'd about it, how do you have to get permission when you go in? Like, do you take the products, like what, just explain to people that don't know about it.
So I basically just put a little call out on Instagram stories and say to people like, what product are you looking for? You know, is it, you know, give me a little bit of info about your skin type, your budget, just so I can tailor it a bit more to you. And then I'll just pull all the links, write a little intro for everything. I used to do it on Instagram stories. I now do it on Substack, which is the platform I'm kind of focusing on right now. Nice. I absolutely love it. It's going back to my old school blogging days. So it's great. And then I'll just do a little write-up, explain why it would work well for them. And then, you know, other people will always benefit from reading that information. It's all on Substack, so people can go back and read through the archives. It's all there.
Okay.
But yeah, that's how I do.
Love it. Absolutely love it. And I think anybody that's wanting to get a bit more information about it, you've got to go there because it's just such an honest view, but being able to draw upon your knowledge, you know, before.
Yeah.
The likes of Get Harley, what are your thoughts on that? If we just kind of like pop out,
yes,
if we may.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm not super clued up on it 100%.
Yeah.
I think it's great because there's a huge range of brands for people to choose from and you can build quite a custom treatment.
Yeah.
They're obviously all professional products. So it's like they're a good quality of product, you know, good ingredients, nice formulas, that kind of thing. I really like that. I think the price point is high, and I think for most of the people I see, they wouldn't be prepared to pay those prices.
Same.
Most people are happy to pay for 2 or 3 higher price products, but then they'd prefer that the rest are quite,
reasonable, manageable. I get that.
They can repurchase it again and again. And there's certain things, I think, serum always would spend more on that. Cleanser, moisturizer, I'd probably say that's where you spend less. So I wouldn't necessarily think you need to stay in that price bracket for everybody.
Yeah, I get that completely. Again, for me though, I talked to my last guest about old-fashioned connection, and we know that we get a hit of oxytocin when we hug somebody. We get a hit of dopamine, when we get a high because we've watched YouTube and found something we love. We get a hit of serotonin when we eat chocolate, But that real face-to-face connection, love Get Harley, love the new digital age, all that sort of stuff. I do worry though that we're missing the point at times with brands like that. I think it's an inevitable brands like that to come on board, come along. Just don't know what your thoughts are. Like, you obviously like the connection with the people.
Yeah. Like, I do offer virtual, if someone in Scotland wants me to build them a skincare routine, I can absolutely help with that. But it's always far more, valuable for me to see the person's skin up close and to, not just ask them the questions on the consultation form, but to go beyond that and delve a little deeper and, how does your skin respond when you've been in the sun all day? Those kinds of questions. That's what was surprising for me about doing facials in the first place, was how much I enjoyed that connection, because I'm quite an introverted person. So normally I'm not like up for chat all the time. And it still surprises me that I now spend most of my days talking to people all day.
who am I?
Yeah, like, who am I? And I need to go home and recharge.
I totally get that.
But yeah, I think absolutely. And that's what people want as well. They want that personal, look at this spot. What's this? They want to do that.
They do. They'll come in for a 15-minute checkup. Yeah. And I'm like, have you got my time?
Yeah.
Because I'd be like rearranging this appointment if it was me.
Yeah.
But they love that connection because they genuinely want you to see them.
Yeah.
Even if it's free or whatever, or like they're paying for it.
Yeah.
They will absolutely want to come in and see you. So I do believe that when you've had experiences that are very personal and you've built that in for them, that is huge for me. Given that you're a blog person and we've seen the rise of Instagram and the irresponsible use of it, even though, there's good and bad, right?
There is.
Do you like the word influencer?
I wouldn't call myself an influencer. And I know probably anyone who's an influencer would say that too. But like, I never set out to become big on Instagram or any kind of platform. When I started blogging, people didn't say the word influencer. You were a blogger. So I never set out to have that following and do that kind of thing. And at no point have I ever thought, oh, I want to quit my job and be an influencer. Like, it doesn't appeal to me. And the influencers who I like following are the people who have a real job and like they've got like a niche and they bring something else to the table. They're not just someone who's just sat at home receiving parcels all day.
So true.
I like people who've got an opinion and an experience and a background and personality, and they can kind of add that extra layer. And I think it's more real.
I agree.
So I think, there are different types of influencers.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with that. And you don't necessarily subscribe because that's not who you set out to be.
No.
And I think the thing is, unfortunately, it puts you in a pot.
Absolutely.
And you have to be savvy enough and ready to accept that word is not the definition of the fact that you get free products 24/7.
Yeah.
And you're there and you get paid to do that. You don't. It's been such an organic, unique journey for you, which I love about you.
Yeah.
That's why I follow you.
Yeah.
Because I want to know you because of your background, and I get a bit weirdly stalkery with people that want to find out. And I start like going, oh, wonder what she's done before.
Yeah.
And, not in a creepy way, obviously.
No, but yeah. I know exactly what you mean.
Like stalking the ex-boyfriends and stuff. Go a bit too far.
Oh, that time you went there in 2005. Why did you do that?
Like the grandma's name and stuff. It's weird. But no, I totally think that people need to just put a different lens, put different goggles on, and like see that influencer A might not be influencer B.
Exactly. And yeah, just looking at people's background, like where they've come from. And, you know, some people have worked in like one field for their whole life, and they've got so much like, you know, experience and knowledge in that field. And now they're using their social media platform to just bring that to the masses. And that's a great use of social media.
Responsible use.
100%. Yeah.
So do you think then that with the rise of TikTok, because we've seen that develop in the last, like, blow up.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So quickly.
Yeah. Do you think that that's changed the way that we view skincare?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah. I think it's just so much more fast paced than Instagram. It's obviously the focus on video. And what I don't like about TikTok is that...
Are you on it?
I'm on it. I don't really post on it. I don't really spend much time on it, to be honest, because I have issues with it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's great for my brain.
Yeah.
And I'm not one of those people that's really preachy against social media, because I love scrolling on Instagram, but TikTok's just another level for me. Yes, but I just think...
I'm like you, I'm not. Yeah. Because it's too much for me.
It's just too much. Yeah. I don't need to see, like, you know, real graphic world news 1 minute and then a puppy the next minute. That's totally good. That's not normal.
Totally agree.
Just do that.
Sorry.
But yeah, sorry, to go back to your question, skincare, I just think on TikTok it's so dumbed down, because people, you know, you have to make a, I don't know, 15-second video, otherwise it's too long and people won't watch it. So you're condensing like a really meaty topic into 15 seconds. That's impossible. So you're dumbing it down, you're cutting out so much information that, like, how is anyone supposed to actually learn about that?
I've not thought about it like that.
Yeah. And I think that's why, I mean, my algorithm doesn't show me beauty content at all, despite everything I do, because I just don't watch it. I'll scroll right past it because I hate how, I'll watch something and think, yeah, but you didn't mention this and you should have mentioned that. And, you know, it's too, like, watered down.
That's so true. What a great way to look at it.
Yeah.
And
that's damaging, because that's someone's first introduction to skincare. They watch that video and like, oh, right, that's what I need to do. Then that stays with them.
So true. So is that why you favour Instagram anyway, or just on blogs, because you've got the ability to, the freedom there? And
yeah, I mean, that's why I've, in fact, I'm posting less on Instagram and more on Substack, because Substack gives me the words to explain things, to go into depth, to add the detail that I think people need about skincare. Instagram used to kind of offer that, I guess, but now it's all about video on Instagram. So I kind of had to make the decision like 6 months ago, where I was like, whoa, step back. Why am I feeling the need to make videos? Yeah. You know, I was a blogger and then I was a writer. I write, like, that is my preferred form of communication, writing. Yeah. Like, I need to stay in my lane, but why am I trying to make videos? I never set out to be someone who makes videos, but you just kind of become brainwashed. Like, well, everyone else is making videos. Yeah. So yeah, and you've got to make it 20 seconds long and use this song, and, you know,
the trending
trending songs, and, you know, you're just constantly like jumping through hoops that have been set out for you by someone else, rather than just doing what you want to do.
God, yeah, that's so, how interesting.
Yeah,
I think that's really fascinating.
It is.
Because I find
a world of madness.
I've been there since day dot, since MySpace, since, you know, Facebook and all that. And I find Instagram really tricky to navigate.
Well, I think Instagram that's where they've, in my opinion, have like shot themselves in the foot, because they're trying to get you to, you know, do static posts and videos. Yeah. And you've got to have stories and a broadcast channel, and like you've got DMs, and then you've got to use all their new features. And every time they bring out a new feature, you've got to use that
in order for you to
like grow.
Yeah.
And I just don't want to play that game.
No, I get
like
that.
That's not why I do it. I do it because I like my topic, not because I like social media.
If somebody took all of your followers away from you overnight, would you be bothered?
Not at all, because that's why I love Substack, because I've just started it, and I've started it completely from scratch. And I know if one person reads a post, I've done my job. I'm happy. And it's just been really nice actually to see my Substack growth over the past few months, and be like, oh, people are, you know, subscribing and following and paying for my content. That's great. You know, to know that people trust you and respect you. And sometimes with Instagram, you look at that number of people that follow you and you think, but is anyone actually, do they actually all watch my stories or see my content? You don't know, do you?
No, yeah, no, totally get you. Well, I mean, I do. You know I do. So in terms of aesthetics then, of course, you've seen the change and, exhibitions like Pro Beauty include aesthetics. How do you feel? Do you think it's too fast? Do you think it's too much? Do you think it's irresponsible? Do you think it's responsible? Are we morphing beauty into aesthetics and vice versa? I think there's lots of people that don't want to talk to you about aesthetics because how dare you? I'm the opposite. I think we complement each other. Absolutely. Unfortunately, there's lots of people that don't believe that. But what are your thoughts on it? Like, would you start doing injectables? If you could and the world said you could, would you stay not down that lane? Tell me about what your thoughts are in general in the aesthetic space.
I mean, I love aesthetics. I've had stuff injected.
Yeah.
And I completely agree with what you said about they complement each other. I think they're two halves of the same circle.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily think that because you can do one half, you can do the other half. On a professional level, obviously, like I'm not medically qualified and I don't believe anyone who isn't medically qualified should be injecting anyone, which I know is your opinion as well. But like that, to me, that barrier is why I would never personally start injecting people. I don't believe I'm the right person to do that because of my background and my experience. And I think it takes a whole different level of understanding and education and everything that you've done to know that side of the circle, basically. Yeah. But I'm absolutely not against it. I think I think there's only so much that skincare can do. Like microneedling's great, but there comes a point where even that's not necessarily going to give people the results they want to achieve. And at that point, that's when I would say, have you considered filler, Botox,
So where do I start and you end, and where do you start and I end, Grace? What would we say to people in their journey? Who would they go to first? Because I can do what you can do, but I can't do it as well as you can do it because I've added it in because it's become what the noise is out there.
Yeah.
I've had to become educated.
Yeah.
It's not just about Botox and fillers.
Yeah.
How do we do that? How do we marry that?
I think it's all about the individual and what they want, because like you say, some people absolutely do not want to talk about anything like that, or they'll start the conversation by saying, I never want to have that. What can I do instead?
Yeah.
Or most people actually would come and say, I'm open to doing this in the future, but right now I'd rather just do skincare stuff until it gets to a point where my skin needs more.
Yeah.
And I think it's that. I think it's like, if you think of it as a triangle, I'm the bit at the bottom and you're the bit at the top.
Yeah.
And not everyone wants to go up, but I think most people probably do.
At some point. But the thing is, I would love to get to a place in the landscape where we become aligned. You are mine and I am yours kind of thing. And we can, that's what is explained to our people, our patient, demographic and your client base, and about how we do work beautifully together.
And you can have both. And actually, I say to people all the time who've got Botox, if you're not wearing sun cream or you're not, looking after your skin, there's no point having the Botox.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's all an education piece. And I think people are still there's obviously a stigma about injectables, but there's also, I think a lot of people think it's like, oh, that's what celebrities do. That's like what people with lots of money do. People don't realize that it's actually, it is accessible to everyone, not in a dodgy way, but you can.
Well, I'm sure it is in a dodgy way.
Yeah, well, it is in a dodgy way. That's the scary thing.
But I know what you mean.
Yeah, you don't have to go down the dodgy route to have, a reasonably priced treatment.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What's your favourite treatment to do? First.
Okay.
And then what's your favourite treatment to have?
I actually think it's the same. It's microneedling.
Is it?
Yeah.
Why did I know you were going to say that? I feel like that was going to come out at some point.
Yeah.
Tell me why. Do you think it's like an unsung hero? Do you like?
I think people who have it get it and they know it and they'll be like in it for life. But I think people are really scared to have it because it sounds scary and it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know, we know, but like everyone experiences it in a different way. But it's just the results. You know, you get that, and as soon as your redness is gone, you've got that immediate glow. Your skin just looks better. And then long term, you're building that collagen over time. And whether that's, you know, because you're trying to target something specific like pigmentation or scarring or lines and wrinkles, whatever, or because you just want to like, you know, bank the collagen and have that healthy skin in the long term. I just think it does bits for everybody.
There's something in that for everyone.
For everyone.
I feel like a bit though. It's, at times for me, because there's so many different forms of micro needling. If like the umbrella, like derma stamping, derma rolling, like what the actual. I mean, can we just like revisit that? Because
I mean, that's just a different. When I say micro needling, I'm talking professional treatment.
Absolutely,
like with one of probably 3 devices that I can think of off the top of my head.
Agree.
Not ones that you can buy on Amazon or rollers that you can buy in Boots. That's terrifying.
Why. Yeah. Why do you know why?
Because the safety aspect of it, of going home and, you know, jabbing tiny needles into your skin and it might not be sterile, your skin might not be clean. What are you doing with that device afterwards? When are you using it again? Where have you been storing it in the meantime? What product have you got on your face that you're needling in? That whole thing is terrifying.
Yeah.
You know, I had to do so many additional qualifications on top of the basics to be qualified and insured to microneedle, and the levels of hygiene and standards that you have to have in order to do that treatment. You know, the constant hand cleansing, the changing gloves all the time.
Yeah.
That environment has to be sterile because you're breaking the skin.
Absolutely.
So to do that home or to do it in a not a clean environment, that's really
disaster waiting to happen,
crazy. And then you've obviously got to take into account, you know, the actual technique, which again you have training for.
Yes, yeah.
But if you're like, you know, going over and over, you know I can look at someone's skin and know whether I need to go over second pass, third pass, whatever. But you know, most people will just keep going maybe until they start bleeding. Some people might just go until they're pink. Like, you know, people don't know.
There's no standard.
There's no standards.
Yeah,
and you can't, you know, control that.
Control that. Standardise the standards. Yeah. Why? Because there's so many different training providers.
Because you can buy them on Amazon.
Because you can buy them.
Because someone who's done like level 2 beauty can just buy one on Amazon. I mean, anyone random person can buy them on Amazon, but they can then start charging people and say, "Oh, yeah, I do microneedling."
Oh, so bad.
It's really scary.
So bad.
Yeah. And then obviously you've got that within aesthetics as well. You've got people needling people.
Well, I think it's a bit of a minefield, because of the different depths as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's the other thing. You can needle to a deeper depth than I can, but someone at home can go to your depth because they don't know.
It's so scary. I just feel we need to tell people.
Yeah.
But I think that's why I get hit and miss with microneedling, because they've had experiences elsewhere. They come back. I'm more injectable, but I'm skin through and through. So I would prefer to sprinkle injectables, do those at the end, or not at all, genuinely, and stick to the skin. Just go. Let me tell you, that's where you'll see it. Unless you have a deficit of something on your face, or an area that we can actually do something with, you don't need fillers. They're like, what? I'm paying for. Yeah, I've got money here for fillers. I'm like, well. No.
Yeah, not doing it.
I'm not doing it. Go somewhere else. But no, I'm not quite as blunt as that. But, I do believe that real, like, responsible...
Oh, yeah. Like, you have to... I think, you've got their face is in your hands.
Yeah.
That's like... If you do something wrong, that's huge,
Huge.
And, like, that, I think, again, going back to the imposter syndrome, like, how are these people who are unqualified and doing treatments not terrified of the implications of things go wrong?
Do you know when you want to be able to sleep at night, or if you've done a treatment and you're like, oh, there's one thing you think, it kills me for days. Yeah. I am literally overthinking it. I'm like, oh my God, I forgot to take picture 3.
Literally.
Are you saying? Yeah. I suppose that's because we care, but no, I struggle with that.
Yeah.
have to let things go sometimes because I will really overthink it.
Oh God, yeah.
You know, when you started out in skin and you had your own experience, how long did it take you to actually go, okay, I get it? Like, had you faffed about with salicylic acid, azelaic acid? When you were doing your own stuff, were you trying like everything under the sun? Had you gone, well, I've read here it says retinol. Well, I've read here it says, what? How did you go, oh.
Yeah, it was a long process. I would say if we're starting with me being like 12 years old, going into Boots and picking up like St. Ives apricot scrub versus me now, it's been a long process. And I think ultimately, you know, trial and error.
Yeah.
But I absolutely bombarded my skin for, I'd say, the first 5 years. I was using everything and I wasn't giving things enough time to work. Yeah. And I was, you know, I was putting retinol on and then thinking, oh, it's been on for half an hour, I can put some salicylic acid on top of that. You know, I was doing that. And that's how I learned what not to do. Yeah. And then as an editor, you know, you have so many useful experiences where you're interviewing dermatologists and chemists and brand founders. And, you know, I did that for 7 years. I was constantly learning from people in every aspect of the industry. Yeah. And I was involved in product formulation and like marketing and, so you know, exciting. You are speaking to like the people who regulate copywriting so that the, you know, the words you read on the box actually reflect what's in the product. And you realize how much goes into it. And it's just through that experience that I was learning, you know, what not to do and what to do. And ultimately it boiled down to just keeping things simple, focusing on hydration, maybe having 1 or 2 actives, but using them in the right way. And that's kind of where that's my approach.
When was the day that you had like fully, when did you go, oh my God? When was that like a eureka moment?
I think my eureka moment was like 3 months into using tretinoin.
Really?
Yeah.
Good old tretinoin.
I was like, oh, I've done it. I've got my acne. Yeah,
God, that's quite powerful actually.
Yeah, and it's not for everyone. Tretinoin it's a strong ingredient, as you know, but I'd got my skin in such a healthy, hydrated place that it could deal with the side effects of the tretinoin, and therefore I was just enjoying the benefits of it. Oh, if I'd used tretinoin 5 years before, I would have probably never touched it again because it would have destroyed my skin that was so fragile. But yeah, that's when I was like, oh, I've cracked it.
God, that's insane. Do you recommend Tret now?
Yeah.
For the patients that need it?
For the people that need it, and also I would always work with people to get their skin really hydrated and healthy before I would introduce it.
Got you.
But I think for some people it is what it takes.
Yeah. I think you're right.
Yeah.
But I think you've got to be in a space. Yeah. I don't believe in unhealthy prescribing of it.
Yeah.
Just because.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes the industry gives this impression that everybody should be on it.
Oh, yeah.
And they shouldn't.
Yeah, exactly.
But I do believe it's an amazing ingredient.
Yeah.
And it works for some people, for sure. What's your thoughts on antibiotic use then in acne?
I mean, I've used it briefly. It helps. It helped me temporarily. And I think that's kind of my experience of it has been like a plaster. Yeah. You know, it's not getting to the root of the cause, it's a plaster. Yeah. And I think that way about a lot of the solutions that are offered in a GP surgery. Yes. Because my experience of that was the pill. So yeah, you've got acne, go on the pill. Oh,
so common. Yeah. It was like an epidemic.
I mean, I speak to people, not a day goes by I don't speak to someone who had the exact same experience.
I think they still do it though.
Oh yeah, probably. Like it's just an
common
easy...
encouraged, like in clinic. They'll come in and say, you know, my daughter's been on this, whatever.
They've put her on the pill, yeah. I know my acne was bad. I didn't get referred to a dermatologist because they were like, oh no, you go on the pill.
Oh, so bad. So bad.
Yeah, and that messed up. It didn't help my skin. No. They moved me on different types of pill. Yeah, thinking that, you know, it might change it. Didn't.
Regardless of the hormones that were happening.
Yeah. Then I came off it and my skin got even worse temporarily. Yeah. And coming off it made me realise all the other things it had been doing to my body and my brain.
Oh my God, Grace.
Yeah. I mean, luckily I wasn't on it for, I think it was maybe like 4 years. some people are on it for a lot longer before they have that realization. But I would never go back on it now.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, you've had experience in London and Manchester, if you like, and what would you say, or would you say they're the same, is different about the London scene skin-wise? Because I always find it like super overwhelming.
Yeah.
All of the independent boutique brands, we've seen some of the likes of some of the brands that go into like Harvey and X Harrods, some of the more underdogs make it. And originally start out as, walk-in pop-up stores or whatever, which is, I think, is amazing. Yeah. How do you think the scene differs? Is there more available because London's bigger and it's the capital and that's where we should be going if we want to go and see the best people? Obviously, we're not going to say in Manchester. However, if we're talking out to anybody that's listening up and down the country, I want to empower them to say, find the person that you like, regardless of where they are. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that you need to go to London for anything.
I agree.
Anything.
I agree.
Even going back to like when I started my career, I thought, as an 18-year-old, thought, I'll end up having to move to London because that's where all the jobs are. That's if I want to do what I want to do, that's going to be where I end up. Yeah. And actually, it's been so empowering and rewarding for me to be able to achieve what I have without going and permanently basing myself in London.
Great.
Yeah. And I say that to people all the time. And I think that's the beauty of the digital world. I grew up in a tiny town on the Welsh border and I had a blog and somehow my voice got out there into the world and I found my way beyond that. And without having to physically move anywhere, I had that platform and that opportunity. And that is, you could be on like an island in Scotland, but you might have the most amazing blog or website and you can reach people all over the world. So you don't have to be in London. And I also think, it's like small fish, big ponds.
Yeah.
If you're in Manchester, there's fewer people that you're like competing with,
yes.
You can stand out and you can pave the way for people. And that's what I love about Manchester across the board, not just in what we do. I think that's something that for me attracts me to the city. Yeah.
Queen, let's just listen to this girl forever.
Stop.
You're very calming.
Oh, good.
And
you're very calming.
Really?
Yeah.
There's so two people that are like, we can't sleep.
No. I actually feel quite comfy and sleepy in here.
Don't you think this gives you an element of like security?
It's lovely. Yeah.
It's so nice and like reassuring in a way.
Yeah.
But no,
it's like having a big hug.
It's like a big hug. Do you know what I think why we both feel like that is because we both respect one another.
Yeah.
So there's like an ease.
Yeah. Yeah.
With no competition.
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean. And I think I don't know what your experience of this is in your industry and the trajectory you've had, but I think there is so much competitiveness between women and I hate it. I absolutely hate it.
Same.
Because we should not be doing that to each other.
Massively the same.
And I have seen women trample on other women to get where they are.
Absolutely.
And I really... That's one of the reasons I left the corporate world, if you will.
That's why I hated school.
Yeah.
It's been an early... Same for you. And same, I was in corporate at Harley Med. Never forgive them for their experience was amazing. Great grounding, great place to start. Always be thankful, but not for me.
No, absolutely. I just think hierarchy it's so damaging to people and, having to aspire to get a promotion or, to work your way up a ladder. When only so many people can because it funnels.
Absolutely.
You're forced to compete with people.
100%.
And it's just horrible.
That's why I left nursing as well.
Yeah, I bet that was...
Women all competing to be sisters.
Yeah.
On a ward where there's one.
Yeah.
It was just horrible.
No, it's awful.
Again, thank you NHS. I am where I am. But that whole dynamic did not fit with my personality.
No.
I loved what I did. And I loved who I was treating, but that broke me. Yeah, I didn't know where the camaraderie was.
Yeah,
apart from seeing people stand up and clap in COVID.
Yeah, God, do you remember that?
Yeah. One of the girls that works here was she's like, every time she saw people get out, she's like, please don't. I can't. This is horrific. Yeah. do not even, I cannot but cringe. She was like, really? We're going out to do our job? And I was like, well done.
Oh,
you've been above and beyond.
Yeah.
It's
awful.
So awful. But the sentiment behind it, probably in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Go for it.
What are you using today? Like this week? What is your skincare routine at this moment?
Okay. I'll do this morning.
Okay.
So I used a Aveeno cleanser that's got PHA in it.
Okay.
That I'm trying out because I like to recommend low and slow exfoliation, and I just think it's a good product for that. Mm-hmm. I used Clinisoothe, so hypochlorous acid. Again, that's one of the products that I wish had been around when I was a teenager because it's been amazing for my acne, and it's one of those things I'm too scared to stop using.
Yeah.
I used...
It's like a security blanket, isn't it?
Yeah, literally every day. Like if I forget to put it on, I'm like, oh my God, I've got to go back home and put it on.
It really plagues you, doesn't it?
I'm like, oh. I used a hydrating essence from Eve Lom. That's a new product that I'm testing out.
Nice.
For an article. A hyaluronic serum from Glow Recipe that I'm testing out.
Nice.
A Sarah Chapman moisturizer.
Okay.
Also testing out. Your SPF, which I love. It's amazing.
It's amazing,
it's
isn't it?
Incredible. The glow.
It's unreal.
Yeah.
It's the best one I've ever used.
It's insane.
And I'm not just saying
I love it. And I'm not just saying that. And she hasn't paid me to say it. And she hasn't given it to me either. So, yeah.
Well, you will get one now.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
We'll keep you in it for life.
Thank you so much. Then I put on the Arborian CC cream, which I've only just discovered. It's a very old school cult product, I think, that a lot of people know about. But I actually really like that. But yeah, that's what I've gotten today.
Ace. Listen, guys, you have to follow this girl. She's absolutely insane. Before you leave me, I just wanted to talk to you about a skin product. And I think this is, you and I need to because obviously we're going to go to Korea, so we have to talk about this. But you know, when people talk to you about if you had to put one thing in, now it's not what I find this really difficult because everybody's different.
Yeah.
Something that's either like overrated or something that's like underrated. Ooh. A bit like send them up, send them down. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think we should like start that. Yeah. We should maybe even just like do something collaborative where we go, what's this week?
Yeah,
that might be cool.
Yeah.
Have you got one? Have you got like, is the ones that you think, oh.
Do you want a specific product?
Yeah, it's or ingredient.
Salicylic acid. Yeah. When it's right for the right skin, it's amazing for the right skin.
Agree.
But so few people, I think, actually have that skin.
So true.
Compared to the amount of people that think they have it.
So true. I think it's because it's in everything.
It's in everything. And there's a particular one in a bottle that's grey that I do like the brand, but the product itself, I would say probably 80% of my new clients come in and tell me they're using it. And I'm like, stop that straight away.
Really?
Put it on the backs of your arms, put it on your feet, but do not put it on your face.
Put it on your verrucas.
So yeah, I think salicylic acid is just a bit too over.
I think that is an absolute perfect example of an ingredient that is everywhere.
Yeah.
Thanks to The Ordinary. We love them, but they're everywhere. I mean, it's great. And they're giving people the opportunity to buy products. Amazing.
Yes.
But bloody hell, they've got to buy 75.
Yeah.
Because they're all bloody individual.
Yeah.
So they'll come in and they'll go, oh no, I've got azelaic for when my skin's this, and salicylic, and then glycolic, and then there's a new one actually. I'm like, oh my God.
And they don't know how to layer them.
No.
Or, how often in a week they should be using them. And I completely get that. But you don't need a 12-step skincare routine in order to get those benefits. Like you can use one serum that has multiple acids in it, for example, and still see the benefits without having to spend 20 minutes in front of your mirror.
I swear she's not getting paid. She's here off her own volition, although we invited her to. But yeah, we're just on the same page.
We really are.
And like, it's so bloody refreshing to know that we're out there together, fighting for
especially
doing the right thing.
When you're self-employed and you're a solo esthetician, and again, imposter syndrome, but you're constantly doubting, and you do need that reassurance. And like you say, you look at my page for stuff, I look at your page for stuff. It's just nice when you know that someone's on the same page as you, because you can trust them, and you know that you have the same opinion, and therefore, if something new comes out, we'll probably have the same opinion on it.
100%. I think that's great. I think that's really refreshing and rewarding. And we said this last time about maybe putting each other on each other's page, or like really doing something once a month or every 6 weeks where we just talk to people honestly.
Yeah.
And I think that would be...
No, we need to make it happen.
We do. We need to make it happen. Now I have just found out, because I've been through a divorce, that I own all of the businesses solo.
Oh my God. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
It's very surreal.
Yeah.
But I now believe I've got an opportunity. And it's one of those like Spider-Man moments.
Yeah.
With great power comes great responsibility.
Oh, yeah.
So now it feels like I've got to do something, but I was always doing it.
Yeah.
But I can really do it the way I want to do it.
Yeah.
And that includes just doing something together.
Yeah.
And there's nobody else, you know, I've been doing it for long enough, and there's lots of people that you could pick from, but you are the person. Well, I think for me, that kind of wraps up what we're saying, because we're both on the same page and have got such a degree of respect for one another.
Oh, absolutely.
And, you know, in a sea of very confusing information, online, offline.
Yeah.
And at a time when lots of our industry is at war. Yeah.
And also when conventionally we would be pitted against each other because we do different things.
Absolutely.
And I've been in environments, sorry to keep talking.
No, keep going.
But I've been in environments where I'm made to feel inferior because I don't have any medical expertise.
So
and,
bad.
you know, I get that. I get that there's a limit to what I can offer. But what I can offer, I have the knowledge and expertise to do that really well. And yeah, I think we do need to bring in all these regulations, and there needs to be lines between you know, what people can and can't do. Absolutely. But I think everyone needs to understand that we all work in synergy together. Like that's how it should be. I think in America, they do it really well.
They do it really well.
You have a dermatologist and you have an esthetician.
Absolutely.
And you probably see someone else for injectables.
It works. We're the last country in the world that's like this.
And we're all like at war with each other. Yeah. It's horrible.
Maybe we should start something independently, like, and a site where we say like, there's two halves of the page and this is how we marry.
Yeah. Because, you know, you can educate me on things. Maybe I can educate you on things.
Exactly.
And that's, you know, I've had clients in who are doctors who don't know the stuff about skin that I know because they're not taught that. That's not where they start. You know, as a dermatologist, you're learning about infectious diseases and skin cancer, not how to wash your face.
Absolutely right. That just breaks it right down. Yeah. Oh, isn't she just amazing? She's gorgeous.
I could keep talking all day.
I love talking. It's great, isn't it? It's just when you know it's your subject.
Yeah.
And when you just, you know, as passionate as we are, and all I want to do, I said this to you last time, is come and see you and or refer patients to one another and say where they shouldn't do. Yeah. Say where they should go and where they shouldn't go. Yeah. And I would just be like, go and see Gracie, come and see me. Yeah. I will do X, she'll do Y. And by the time we've had 12 months with us both, like you'll be a new person. Yeah. We could keep going all day. Look at Sam. I can tell he loves this one. Yeah, no, he does. Not at all. We would keep going for hours because we love it, and we know the guests that we've curated together and put on are just meaningful, and you know that everybody's been super handpicked. Because I want to hear what you know. Respect you. I want to hear what you've got to say because it's so fascinating, and I so thank you for.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Bring it. Would you come back?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Maybe we'll do one on the way to we'll get a voice recording on the way to Korea. Keep mentioning that. Have I mentioned
Korea? There could be a whole podcast series.
Yes. Should we all go?
Yeah.
Producer Sam's coming. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, my darling. That's it for today's Barefaced Chat. Thank you so much for listening. If you've loved this conversation, make sure you follow, rate, and share. It really helps more people find us and join the conversation. I'll be back next week with another honest, unfiltered chat. Because skin isn't just skin. It's your story, and I'm here for it.